Look out, Toby. There are many beautiful places to visit on the island of Sodor. The engines love seeing Wayside Village, the Lighthouse Watermill, the big lake over the bridge, and the windmill. Toby the Tram Engine likes every place on the island. He doesn't like to hurry as much as the other engines, but all the same he likes to be really useful. One day Toby was puffing along the line with Henrietta. As he stopped at a signal, Gordon was there with the express. "Here comes Mr. Slow Coach," he said rudely, "with his silly old cow-catchers." Toby felt insulted. "I'm not slow," he said crossly, "and my cow-catchers are not silly. They were made for my own safety. I also don't like speed because it makes me more careless." "Huh!" grumbled Gordon. "Speeding's not being careless. Can't listen to your silly chatter." And then he set off. Toby was puffing along the line, going very slowly. "Speed isn't everything," he said to himself. "I do like to be useful like everyone else." His driver laughed. "You are a useful engine," he said to Toby. "An engine that moves safely must work safely too." But Toby wasn't sure about that. As Toby was about to set off in his next run, Thomas came to see him. "Do you think I'm safe enough to run on my line?" asked Toby, "even though I'm not built for speed?" "Of course you are," replied Thomas. "You're a wise engine, so try not to feel sorry for yourself. Stand on your own wheels and tell anyone who is insulting you that you're better than anyone else." "I could," said Toby, "but I'm not sure who can help me with this." "Take Annie and Clarabel with you," said Thomas. "They'll help you get through this, and they'll know how safe and wise you are." Toby thought it was a good idea, and so he coupled himself up to Annie, Clarabel and Henrietta, and then he set off. Toby puffed along the line. Annie, Clarabel and Henrietta were keeping an eye on him and anything else of what's safe and not safe. "You're doing well," said the coaches. "You're working safely and moving safely." "Thank you," said Toby kindly. Suddenly, Tigermoth flew right over them. "Oi!" shouted Toby to the pilot. "You were told not to fire so low like that." But the pilot took no notice and flew away. "You wait till I tell the Fat Controller about this," and Toby puffed on. At the next station, Toby's driver told the station master about the pilot flying low again. "You're doing a great job so far," the coaches told Toby. Now they didn't know that a group of children were hiding behind the station building with some big stones. Just then the guard blew his whistle and Toby puffed out of the station. But they all heard loud bangs and glass smashing. "Blast my buckles!" gasped Toby. "What was that?" "These children are throwing stones at us," said Clarabel. "They spoilt our paint and smashed our windows." Then the station master saw the children running away from the station and he was shouting at them to come back. "This is really getting out of hand," said Toby's driver. "I'll have to warn the other engines about this," agreed Toby, and then they set off. When Toby got to Weltwood Station, James and Percy were waiting for them. "I've got important news," explained Toby. "There's some naughty children throwing stones at coaches." "I saw these children earlier," said Percy. "They threw stones at my nice paint." "If these children can throw stones at me," grumbled James, "I'll give them a right loud whistle and blow smoke at them too." "I don't think it'd be very wise to do that," said Toby. "What we need is a good lesson to teach them." "What, like when Henry sneezed at those boys once when he had stones dropped at him?" asked James and Percy together. "Well, yes," said Toby, "but in a different way. I think we should get the Fat Controller to catch them if they do that again." Meanwhile, Thomas and Gordon were coming along the main line. Tigermoth flew right over them. "Look where you're going!" shouted Gordon. "Express train coming through." "And would you stop flying so low over us?" shouted Thomas. The naughty children were watching them, and they laughed when Tigermoth flew over them. Thomas and Gordon stopped at a signal, and the children ran up to them and teased them and started to throw stones at them. Toby saw them and crept up behind Thomas and Gordon. He rang his bell loudly. The children saw Toby. "You children are a bunch of troublesome thugs," Toby said sternly, "and if you tease us again, you're going to regret for what you did for throwing stones." And they ran up to Toby, and they were just about to throw stones at him when... The Fat Controller stepped out of Toby. "I think you should all get inside this coach and come with me right now," he shouted at the children. And they all climbed inside Henrietta, and Toby took them away. When Toby got to the level crossing, the police were waiting for them. They were going to arrest all the children. These children threw stones at me too, said Bertie. I'm so glad he caught them, Toby. The children were all on board the police car and then they drove away. Later that evening, the Fat Controller came to see Toby at the sheds. Thank you for telling me about these naughty children and the pilot flying so low, he said kindly. He has been banned flying once again and the children are giving community service to fix the coach's windows they broke. You really are a useful engine and a safe one. Toby was so pleased. Gordon felt bad. I'm sorry I was so rude to you, he said to Toby. I should have known that you're a wise engine and your cowcatchers are not silly. You really are a careful engine too, said Thomas. We should call you Lookout Toby, said Percy. I really like that name, said Toby. It makes me feel like I'm better than anyone else. And all the engines agreed.